All right, so we had to reboot. What time is it?
I forgot my.
Oh, you don't have the. It's 11 o'clock in the night.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you did the presentation today. Joint.
Yeah.
You're working together, or?
Yeah, it was a presentation based on a research project we've been doing for the last year. We started it as work for our thesis at the Royal Institute of Technology, and we moved from Stockholm, our hometown, to San Francisco for 3 months, and interviewed a lot of companies there about trust online. And our talk today was kind of a few points from the research we've been doing about online trust, and some of the things we mentioned in our book that we've written about it as well.
So what you were talking about is trust.
Yeah.
So you were talking, for example, about there's a few startups. You say 6 or something like that. You were counting 6.
Right.
And what are they doing?
Oh, so we interviewed 4 companies in our study, and the one we talked most about today was Rapleaf, which is a reputation-based system that you basically, it's an eBay-like, but you break it out of eBay so that you can use it everywhere. So you can put it on your Facebook profile or in your email footer and stuff like that. So that's one thing. The other thing is Opinity, which is this kind of reputation exchange. So you gather a lot of information about yourself, and then you can exchange information before, for example, a monetary transaction, or if you buy something, or things like that. And then we have TN20, which is like a community site, a bit similar to Basecamp or a site like that, so for smaller communities. And there we were studying like how they were making use of already existing trust within these groups in order to kind of transfer it onto the web. And then we looked at Yahoo and their more innovative projects like Delicious and Flickr and those type of projects.
So are those startups actually, what do you call it, spidering, what do you call it, scrabbling? What is Google doing?
No, not
scraping.
Yeah.
Scraping the internet?
No.
What are they doing?
Both.
Was it separate?
Both Opinity and Rapleaf work completely controlled by the user. So the user creates a profile themselves, and then with Opinity's case, you get to choose what you want to put into that profile, and you can also have it verified. For instance, if you put an address or something in there, you can have it verified, but you can also choose not to disclose the address. You can say, I have a valid address, but you don't disclose it to the other party. Rapleaf is more like you create a profile and then other people can comment on it. It's pretty similar to the eBay system. So they don't actually go out and crawl for other data and add to it.
They don't crawl, but through the Rapleaf, what do you call it? Rapleaf, other users put comments and put up, down and stuff like that.
Exactly.
But
that was the figure I was mentioning, was 6 companies, because I've discovered after Rapleaf, I discovered that there are at least 5 other companies doing similar things. So there are a lot of these projects trying to kind of put reputation inside a system, distributed system that you can put somewhere on the web. So that's kind of a general tendency now on today's web, to put reputation on a badge or some kind of an indicator.
And you were talking about Wikipedia.
Yeah.
What were you saying about that?
Well, we gave an example. We were talking about, the trust being a very sort of wide concept, and there being a lot of different types of trust that are usually good for different things in different settings, and usually these different trust forms will exist within different kinds of cultures or different social orders. So what we were talking about with the Wikipedia example is basically that it's been criticized a lot by people saying like, well, there should be a kind of reputation system, maybe similar to Rapleaf or something like that, for the authors and for the articles and things like that. Some kind of technical accounting system that tries to keep track of the credibility of different sources in the Wikipedia project. But Jimmy Wales, he's always been strongly opposing these things and saying to everybody that kind of wants to implement this on Wikipedia that no, we really shouldn't do this. This is he says it's a like culture of trust, and we can't introduce these systems. And we were trying to sort of expand on this a bit, saying that, well, the trust that's in place in Wikipedia today is a lot based on identification between the core members, and they identify within the community that they have with each other, and so they have this very strong sense of togetherness. And by introducing these mechanisms where you start rating each other, you automatically kind of position the individuals against one another within the system. And we think that, I mean, Wikipedia is probably a good example of where you shouldn't use systems such as maybe Rapleaf or something like that, because what can happen then is that the individuals get positioned against each other, and the trust that they start building isn't based on this sense of belonging to a group or identifying with each other. It's much more based on, okay, how can I look at this score? How can I rationally calculate if I am to trust this person or not? And we see this as being like a very different type of trust, and if that's the kind of trust that starts being the norm within this community instead, it's going to change the whole social order of Wikipedia. It's something that's less of a community and more into individual-based, just bunch of people together, and that will probably break down a lot of the will to collaborate and the will to share things with one another. So there's great risk of introducing even a simple system such as rating posts. I mean, there's examples of Google groups and etc. where there's been small intimate groups and they introduced rating functions or rating features where you can rate different posts, and it breaks down the whole community instantly with such a small feature. So that was kind of some of the things we're saying about Wikipedia.
Because Wikipedia is kind of like a democracy. It's like a new kind of a government. I mean, there's some people who have more weight than others.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I think Ross Mayfield was saying, I haven't seen the numbers lately, but like at least 50% of all the edits in Wikipedia is done like with 500 people or something like that, and it's of course the same as in many of these other structures that are kind of open in a way, but there's usually a very, very tight core community who do most of the changes and drive things forward, and it's kind of from their community culture that this kind of trust then expands into the rest of the organization.
I put a bit more weight on that one there because it was just like...
Cool.